What's up, everybody? It's Fierce Francis over here from Playeressence.com, and today we're going to be answering a lot of the user questions that I have right here on YouTube and on Playeressence.com. I've got a ton of questions to go through. Many of these have just been scattered all over my channel, but if you have any other questions, you can put them in the comments below and I'll answer them next week. I'm probably going to be doing these every single Wednesday, so look forward to that. Oh, and one more thing, if I sound a little off or anything today, I had the worst stomach virus. I mean, literally, I had to sleep outside. I mean, it was horrible. I was throwing up all over the place. It was really bad. And I would say my advice to everybody out there is don't eat Taco Bell. That's what gave me that stomach virus. And yeah, I hate that. Cook your food at home, eat healthy. Do not eat Taco Bell. It's horrible. But anyway, we're gonna get right into the questions. All right, the first question is from Jai Phone Might. I think I said that right. I actually might have said that wrong. But he asks, have you heard anything about the rumors that Nintendo will reveal a hardware upgrade / add-on that will boost the system's power at E3? And he's talking about the Wii U. No, there's not going to be any add-on or anything like that, like a N64 DD or the expansion pack thing that they did for the N64. They're not going to do that because it doesn't need that. As you've seen with Xenoblade or the X Xenoblade 2, that the system has plenty of power. It's basically just up to developers to utilize that power and utilize the system. Don't be lazy. Nintendo has their Retro project, or Retro's working on an engine for the Wii U, and it's going to look fantastic. Nintendo doesn't need that. They need good games over graphics, over superior graphics. I mean, as we've seen, like with the 3DS versus the PS Vita, everybody said, oh well, the PS Vita's graphics are going to, destroy the 3DS. It's going to be over. But 3DS proves, nah, good games are more important than graphics, than sheer amount, like power, like sheer amount of graphics, because the 3DS can pull off some nice graphics. I mean, Shin Megami Tensei looks good, Resident Evil Revelations looks good. So, I mean, really, it's just about the gameplay, it's about the games over the graphics, and you'll see at E3 that the Wii U has plenty of power. All right, from the same user, he also asked this question as well. What do you think about the idea of Nintendo making a Pokemon MMORPG on the Wii U? Some say that could challenge Warcraft and StarCraft. If it was made right and by the right developers, yes, it could easily challenge Warcraft and StarCraft. But the problem is that it's not. Nintendo is not in place to make that type of game. I mean, they're just not. The Pokemon company is not set up. They don't have a ton of experience in online play. I mean, really, the Pokemon games just started getting online with the DS, in 2007. I mean, the other ones, the Game Boy Advance, all that, none of those were online, So, no, I don't see Nintendo doing any type of Pokemon MMO. And only because the atmosphere of the Pokemon, like what it's marketed to and the atmosphere of an MMO, it just doesn't go hand in hand. And I just don't think Nintendo's going to invest the amount of time and money it takes to run that. And then you also have to look at Japan really doesn't like MMOs as much. I mean, lots of other places in the world does, but Japan doesn't really like MMOs. We saw what happened with Final Fantasy. Everybody thought, oh, well, Final Fantasy, oh, it's going to be great as an MMO. The MMOs are like some of the worst selling in the series. Like all of the Final Fantasies, like the console ones, sell much better than the MMO. So, I mean, you saw what happened with Dragon Quest. That failed, Dragon Quest, one of the most popular franchises in Japan. It fell flat on its face because of the MMO. But yet, the remake of a PlayStation game sold like gangbusters on the 3DS. So, I mean, Dragon Quest 7. So, no MMO stuff. I mean, I know it would work, but, I'd rather just have a really solid Pokemon experience on the Wii U that you can transfer data between X and Y like a main series. I'd rather have that than an actual Pokemon MMO. All right, next question comes from Shadow Wobble 101. That's a cool name. So Shadow Wobble writes, do you think they're going to cut prices after E3? I finally got with the times and really want the Wii U now, but I don't want to buy it if it's going to see a price drop anyway. Nintendo could definitely drop the price at E3. That's something that I think that they're going to do, but I don't think it's going to be like a universal price drop. So I don't think we're going to see like the basic bundle and the premium bundle both get price drop. I think they're gonna swap some stuff in and out, maybe like add a game in and drop one of the basic bundles priced and keep the the deluxe bundle the same price. But I mean, you could definitely see it. I could be wrong about that. You could definitely see something like that because Nintendo needs to spur sales. but I definitely think they want to wait and see the market as far as what the PS4 and what the Xbox 720 costs before they cut any prices on anything, because as the way it's going right now, it seems like those systems are going to be expensive, especially the Xbox 720 could be $500 plus, especially if you add an Xbox Live. So I mean, you got to wait and see what the competition is doing with the price before you cut prices now. But I would definitely wait at least until E3 or at least until the PS4 and Xbox 720 get their price revealed and see how Nintendo reacts to that. All right, next question. Ryan T934 asks, do you think Kingdom Hearts 1.5 HD will come to the Wii U? No. Kingdom Hearts will not come to the Wii U because Square Enix is stupid. Just the same reason why Kingdom Hearts didn't come to the Wii. I mean, you look at the success of games like Epic Mickey on the Wii, 2 million units sold. The fact that Disney didn't take advantage of the Wii's fan base and the Disney fan base that would, that's on there, that didn't actually be on there with the younger audience and everything, is just stupid. I mean, you could have sold Keyblade, Wiimotes, and all sorts of plastic attachments if they would have just released the Kingdom Hearts games on the Wii, but Square Enix never did. Lost opportunity. So I don't think if they didn't do it for the Wii, which had a huge install base and they could have easily done it, they're not going to do it for the the Wii U. So no, I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. But if you watch my predictions, my big E3 predictions show, you will see that I did say Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy Versus is going to be coming to the Wii U. So maybe we'll get those instead. All right, next question. Oasis 1982 LTS, Wii U's future. I'm hearing too much negativity toward the console. I think it's great, by the way. What do you think? The Wii U's future is actually fine. Nintendo actually released their reports, and while the Wii U is not selling anywhere near their expectations, which were originally 5.5 million, and they lowered it to 4 million, and it didn't even hit that. It's at around 3.45 million. The problem is that there's no software for the system. Nintendo also forecasted that they wouldn't have multiple delays of games like The Wonderful 101, Pikmin 3, and all that stuff like that. But Nintendo likes to have their games perfect without bugs, so they have to delay them. Therefore, it impacts sales. And that's the problem. That's the reason why you're not, that the sales haven't been there, is because of the delayed games and other stuff like that. But I think the negativity towards the console, a lot of it is just coming from fanboys online, and a lot of it's coming from people who just think, that are all about graphics and stuff like that. Now, there is some objectivity coming from the console. I mean, I've criticized it in some of my articles, but it's stuff that like, hey, Nintendo needs to not delay games and maybe needs to make sure they're, if they promise a game's coming out at a certain time, they need to make sure it's coming out at that time. If it's not going to, then don't say it is, So stuff like that where I've criticize Nintendo. Definitely their online system can be better, but the system it's a great system. It's a great piece of hardware, and I really think the gamepad is really a game changer when it comes to gameplay, because RPGs and so many games, action games and open world games, can all benefit from having an extra screen, and Nintendo just needs to get the software out there that show people that. Plus, off TV play is really cool, and the fact that you can play co-op with somebody else in the same room and you guys can have your own screen, so no more splitting the main TV in half, is amazing. There's a lot of cool features. Nintendo just needs to get it out there more, and I think at E3 you're going to see that the system is really cool, and people are going to start picking it up when the software starts coming out for the system. All right, next question. Tim G 578. What's up, Tim? How you doing, buddy? He asks, also, I watched the video you made about 720 and Skype. Let's talk about the Xbox 720. And he has a question. Do NPD sales count for online hardware as well as software sales? And no, the NPD does not count for online hardware and software sales. That's why the NPD cannot be taken as the be-all, end-all of sales, because they just don't, which I think they should, but they don't. And I think up until recently, they didn't count, the NPD also didn't count Walmart, which is a big no-no, because a lot of games are sold at Walmart. Walmart has a huge, gaming division as far as, for their games, what their profit comes from. So the fact that they didn't count Walmart up to, I think, a year or two ago was huge. But yeah, NPD doesn't count online sales. So, I mean, take it as that. I mean, the biggest thing to know is like when Nintendo releases their forecast for the investor meetings. That's what you should pay attention to. The NPD just gives you an idea of how something's selling. You won't really know how well it's selling until you see Nintendo's official numbers, just like we recently got, which I will post in the description below, Nintendo's financial forecast. So yeah, you just gotta wait till that. Other than that, I wouldn't take the MPD with more than just like getting the idea. It's not the be all end all. All right, next, and the last question for the day, GameHeart79 has a really nice and long question. One more thing, Francis. What do you think about the state of the journalist and analyst in the video game industry? Because from the last bonus round, which is a crappy show, by the way, I found it hilarious that they only mention the negatives and leave out the positives around Nintendo. I feel this is a serious matter and a whole topic on its own, that journalists and analysts have lost their path on news being reported and discussed. I believe some of them were fanboys in some fashion before they became journalists and affected their job. Yeah, this is absolutely true. Game trailers is, I'd say that game trailers, especially like Michael Pachter and the guys on there, Jeff Keighley, or yeah, they're stupid. And what they want to do, they want to drive up the most hits, the most controversy. And what better way to do that is bash the hell out of Nintendo. I mean, that's what's going to get them hits. That's going to get them clicks. If you bash Sony or if you bash Microsoft, that's going to just piss off their fan base. You know what I'm saying? And that's who most of their fan base is, you know, first-person shooter fans, the Sony fans, Microsoft fans. So, yeah, they're going to go after Nintendo. I mean, you look at M4G, you see Doom article after Doom article after Doom article on the Wii U, on Nintendo. I mean, and that's just how it's going to be. Yeah, some of them might have been fanboys before they started going into, you know, as a journalist or analyst, but I mean, that's just the way it is. In Michael Pachter's case, he's obviously paid off by Microsoft, and he obviously has an internal motive to see Nintendo's downfall. I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious. The dude waited till like a year and a half after the 3DS was you know, kicking butt to finally say that he was somewhat wrong on his predictions of the 3DS, you know, failing to smartphones and tablets. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's just how Michael Pachter and game trailers and the bonus round is going to act. They don't ever report on Sony's failings. I mean, I haven't seen one report on from bonus round or game trailers or Michael Pachter about Sony selling both of their, you know, their headquarters, their U.S. headquarters and their Japanese headquarters to make a profit in their current fiscal year. You don't see stuff like that because they don't want to, because, you know, Pachter has told people to buy Sony stock and he doesn't want to look bad. So, and of course, he told people to stay away from Nintendo stock. So obviously, you know, he's going to bash Nintendo as much as he can. I mean, even if you look at the Michael Pachter's Pack Attack page, and if you scroll down, you'll see questions on people asking about Sony's, you know, financial condition and all this stuff like that, and he just ignores them. He just cherry picks the bashing Nintendo questions because that's what he wants to do. He wants to make Nintendo look bad. He wants them to go down. He wants to be right to his investors and, of course, his own personal investments in Microsoft and in Skype and in things like that. So that's just the way it is. And here's the thing. The good thing about the industry is that the industry, as far as like, you know, stupid sites like IGN and all that, they're a very small minority compared to the actual realm of people who play games. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people out there that like Nintendo, that like all games, you know what I'm saying? And they're not going to bash the hell out of Nintendo like these guys do. So that's the good thing, because if you took the attitude from most of these major sites journalists and you actually translated it towards sales, Nintendo wouldn't be selling anywhere near as much as they do. So the good thing is that there's way more people that actually like Nintendo than any of these journalists in the industry. So that's the good thing. And I'm, you know, personally me, I mean, I've always liked Nintendo. I think that they're a great company, but I have no problem with Microsoft and Sony either. So that's just one thing as far as like Pachter goes. You got to know that there's a lot of money involved, there's a lot of clicks involved, there's a lot of other stuff going on behind the scenes, and that's the reason why they act that way. All right, so that's it for the first Player Essence Mailbag. If you do have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below, and I will answer them next week. And remember, look forward to our Sunday E3 predictions as I go through another 3-pack of E3 Nintendo predictions. So that's going to be awesome. And make sure you check out the website, playeressence.com, for all your news, reviews, trailers, tips, all that good stuff. We got a ton of cool stuff going on the site. Make sure you check that out. That will also be in the description below. Like us on Facebook, check us out on Twitter, and subscribe to us right here on YouTube. Once again, I'm Francis, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.